We good? Okay, so we're continuing on in section 2-3 on question number 41. Okay, so they give us a bunch of information. It says identify the vertex, the focus, the directrix, and axis of symmetry of that equation right there. And also, just make sure you don't forget where are we at. These questions down here, okay? And you got to be careful on these. I'll be honest, the first time I looked at this, I did it wrong at the very end, and I'm like, what the heck? It didn't make sense to me, okay? And I'll show you what I did wrong so that you won't make the same mistake I did, okay? I figured it out in a couple of seconds, but still, I missed it. So we have the equation y equals 1/8 x minus 3, 1/8 x minus 3 squared plus 2. Okay. So they don't tell you to do this, but I've told you to do it since the first time we started the section. Once you read the question, draw a picture, okay? Actually, I tell you what, before I draw the picture, though, I am going to write down what the vertex is, and you should be able to tell me the vertex, 3-4 weeks or so ago, okay? Vertex is 3, 2. Opposite, same. 3, 2 is our vertex. So, now let's graph this thing, okay? And not being sarcastic here, but you got to plot your points in the right spots, okay? I mean, 3, 2. If you think 3, 2 is 2 right and 3 up, you're going to miss it right from the very beginning, okay? It's not 3 right, or did I say 3 right? You go 3 right and 2 up. You go left and right first, then up and down. I don't know what I said. 1, 2, 3 right, 2 up. If you think it's 2 right.
You said 3 up, you said.
I did say it correctly?
Yeah.
Well, what I was meant to say was if you think it's 3 up and 2 right, then...
No, you said it like that. You said it correctly the wrong way.
Good. All right. I didn't say it incorrectly? Okay. Just do it right. Okay. Go right and left, then up and down. Okay. Now, at first you may not know this. I think some of you guys will be able to figure this out. But does this parabola, does it open up, down, left, or right? I mean, can we tell just by the equation when it opens up, down, left, or right? You should be able to tell after just looking at the first couple things. Y is positive 1/8. Y is up and down, and Y is positive up. So we're going to draw it up. Now, is this point in the cup?
No.
No, that is the vertex. It's on the parabola, so it's going to go like this. Now, how wide or narrow do I make it? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, okay? We're just doing a quick rough graph in order to find out what this thing looks like. Okay, so we have our vertex, okay? We don't know the focus yet, okay? But A equals 1 over 4P. We've been using that almost every single problem in this section. Do we know what A is, or do we know what P is? A is what? 1/8. 1/8 equals 1 over 4P. Now, I'm not going to show my work on this because I would really hope you wouldn't have to. If my tops are the same, and they are, then the bottoms are the same. So 4P has to be 8, so P would be 2. Now, what does that mean P is 2? That's not the distance from 0, 0. Okay? It was way back at the beginning because every parabola had a vertex of 0, 0. This one does not have a vertex of 0, 0. Okay? So our vertex is going to be here somewhere, but how far up should I go? 2. We got to go up 2. So I'm going to label this. This is the point 3, 2. If we go up 2 spots, our focus is the point what?
0, 1, 2,
3, 4. 3, 4. You're just going up 2. Instead of going to 3, 2, you're going to go 3, 4. The focus is 3, 4. Okay? And they ask us for the directrix. The directrix, well, instead of going up 2, we're going to go down 2. Okay? So it's going to be right here. Okay? Which is the x-axis or the line y equals 0. Now, which is it, the x-axis or y equals 0? It's both. I'm not sure what they want you to. They want y equals 0. The directrix is y equals 0. Okay, we got a vertex, a focus, a directrix, and the axis of symmetry, okay? Now, I think I said this maybe once in the last couple days or so. So I want to make sure that we have this down right here. I told you guys about, I don't know, a week or so ago that, whenever I ask you for the axis of symmetry, the first 2 words out of your mouth better be x equals. Better be x equals. That's not necessarily the case anymore, okay? It should be x equals if the parabolas open up or down. Then we started having parabolas open side to side. Then it better be y equals, okay? Now this one does open up and down, so it's x equals. So the axis of symmetry is x equals whatever x equals. X is 3. X is x equals 3. Okay, we filled in all the blanks on the top, then don't forget to fill in the blanks on the bottom. It says the graph is a something. Okay, well it says, describe the transformation of the graph. Here's what we need to understand. If we had a vertex, let's say we had a parabola with vertex 0, 0, and p equals 1. And p equals 1, okay? So what that would mean is your vertex is right here, and it's going to open up. Okay, let's draw, I'm going to draw a dot down like this, okay?
So is this like a completely different question?
No, they're just saying, what if p was 1? If p was 1, what would this graph look like, okay? So, if p was 1 on this dotted graph, if p was 1, a would be 1 over 4p. Okay, 1 over 4p, and p is 1. So 1 over 4 times 1, which is 1 over 4. Okay, so they're saying we could have the graph y equals 1/4 x squared. This dotted one is 1/4 x squared. Y equals 1/4 x squared. Okay, now we went from 1/4 to the new one, or the one that we did, 1/8, okay? So it would be a vertical stretch or a vertical shrink if it went from 1/4 to 1/8. Remember, as the numbers get bigger, it stretches it out. If the numbers get smaller, it shrinks it down. It would be a shrink because 1/4 is bigger than 1/8, okay? So it's a vertical shrink. Okay, one second here. I think that's the choices they give us. Let's see where we're at. Vertical shrink by a factor of, ooh, this one's gonna be curious right here. Is it 1? This is where it gets trickier, okay? Let's use easy numbers here, okay? Let's take this really slow though, okay? Let's just say this went from 2 to 10. From 2 to 10. Would it shrink it or stretch it? Went from 2 to 10. It stretch it. Why? It got bigger. By a factor of what? How do you go from 2 to 10? Multiply by 5, okay? Whether you're stretching it or shrinking it, you need to tell me what it is that you're multiplying by to get that. Let me say that again, okay? We know that it's going to be shrunk because it got smaller. Okay, it got smaller. Well, how did it get smaller? How do you go from 1 over 4 to 1 over 8? What do you multiply 1 over 4 by to make 1 over 8? 1 over 2, 1/2. Say it again.
How do we know which one we're going for?
Because they're saying, okay, here's one we worked with all the way through the problem. And then they said, okay, this one that we just worked with, had we started with this one, okay? It's like a parent function, okay? How did we go from the parent function to the function we were working with? Okay, good question. Vertical shrink by a factor of 1/2. Okay. These are not easy. These last few, there's only 3 of these, or 6 of these at the end. Okay, oh, followed by the last ones. You should answer these last chapter. Translation of 3 units what? Right, 3 units and 2 units up. Okay. Well, let's look at number 43. 43. Okay. That's 43 got. Okay, we got x equals, good. 1/16, y minus 3, x equals 1/16, y minus 3 squared, plus 1. Okay, plus 1. All right, let's take this one slow. Okay, now be careful on this one, on the vertex on this one. This is and I'm not making fun here, because I didn't expect anybody to be able to get this. Okay, but yesterday I said, you can impress me here, and then, it took a while, and we eventually got to it here. You got to remember, everything's backwards right here, okay? Everything's backwards. What would the vertex be on this one? We got x first this time. Anybody think they remember what the vertex would be? Not 1, -3. 1 positive 3, okay? Just think about it this way, okay?
So you
It's still, no. Still think opposite same. Okay, what's the opposite of -3? 3. But it's with the y. If it's with the y goes up and down.
So I
Okay.
thought we don't change it.
Well, what we do, we're not changing it, we're changing the order. It's still opposite same, but we're flip-flopping the x and the y. This -3 with the y, you would think would move it down 3, but it always does the opposite when it's here. It actually moves it up 3. This +1, okay? It does what you would think. It's off by itself. It's not with the y, so it deals with the x. It moves it right 1. So up 3 and right 1, usually you go left and right first, then up and down. It's 1, +3, okay? It's still opposite same, but switch the x and the y. And not to sound sarcastic, you know why we switched the x and the y? Because look at the x and the y, what did we do? We switched them. Sounds stupid, but when you switch the x and the y, you know what you do with the vertex? You switch the x and the y, okay? So in this case, it'd be 1, 3.
Well, I just thought we made it opposite because.
That was bad choice of words when I said opposite. Switch them.
I thought it made it with opposite when it was just with the x, and so the same with the y, not just the placement.
No, we don't, when I said switch them, I don't say, instead of saying opposite same, I'm not saying same opposite. I'm saying still opposite same, but switch the order. Switch the x and the y. Okay, so let's graph this thing. So our vertex is 1, 3. So right 1 and up 1, 2, 3, put a dot. And how is this one going to open? Up, down, left, or right?
Right.
Careful.
X,
X is left and right, and x is positive
right.
to the right. So it's going to open to the right, okay? This one I think will be easier because we've already done one question like this, okay? I'm not saying easy, but easier. Okay, we got to find the focus, okay? Well, A is 1 over 4c, or 4p, I'm sorry. Okay, and we know A is 1/16. 1/16 is 1 over 4p. So this one you should be able to do in your head. The tops are the same, the bottoms are the same, p has to be 4. Because 4 times 4 is 16. So, we're at our vertex right here. In 2 words, what am I gonna do to get to the focus? Right 4. So we're at the point 1, 3. We go 4 to the right, we're not gonna be at 1, 3. We're gonna be at what? 5, 3. Vertex is 1, 3. Focus is 5, 3. Mm-hmm.
So to get the, I don't know how to get the focus. Like I get the
Okay.
dividing part, but I don't know how to do it.
Okay, so here's what we're doing. Let's go back to this one for a second, okay? We found out that P, you were good with how we found out what A, or P was? 2, okay? So if you're at 3, 2, and you know that the focus is in, we had to go up something. We knew it was going up somewhere, okay? If it was going down, we had to go down somewhere to get to the focus, because the focus is always in the cup. You have to go to 2 units. Forget about all this complicated stuff. Don't even look at any of this right now. If I give you the point 6, 1. If I tell you to go up 3, so you're at 6, 1, and go up 3. 1, 2, 3. What is that point?
6, 4.
6, 4. That's all we're doing.
Oh, so you only move it up?
Not necessarily. What if I told you on this one, at 6, 1, if I said go right 5. Take this point, go right 5.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute, duh.
Would it be 11?
You got me screwed. He's not paying attention. You got me doing now, Iobi. I said go right 5, and I started going like this. So, let's go left 5, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So where are you at? You're not at 6, 1, you're at what? 1, 1. That's all we're doing.
Okay, so it just depends on like what way the.
Exactly,
it's
yep.
opening up.
So right here, we were at 1, 3, and we said go 4. We had to go to the right to get it inside the cup, so go 4 to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5, 3.
Okay. And then do you always do it by a 4?
But what?
Do you always divide it by 1? Oh, no, duh, that's 1 over 4. Okay.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so our focus is, so you're still up, okay? Our directrix, well, for our focus, we went 4 to the right. How are we gonna find our directrix?
Go 4 to the left.
Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. draw like that. And that's the line, it's a vertical line, x equals 1, 2, 3, negative 3. Okay, x equals negative 3 is our directrix. Okay, and then our axis of symmetry. Our axis of symmetry is right here. Okay, our axis of symmetry is right through that. And it's not what x equals, it's y equals, what does y have to equal on this one?
Negative, or 3.
Axis of symmetry, y equals 3. Okay. And then we have to do this. Same information, I believe, isn't it? P is 1, vertex 0, 0, okay? So, P is 1 and vertex is 0, 0. So, the dotted one would look like this, okay? So, what did they do? If P was 1, A would be 1 over 4 times 1, which is 1 over 4. So we went from 1/4, the parent function that we're always going to refer to this function, 1/16. Did it shrink it or did it stretch it? If you go from 1/4 to 1/16, shrink it. Why? It got smaller, so it's a vertical shrink.
Are you timesing it by 1?
What's that?
Is that times 1 over 1?
Times 1, because P was 1. It's a vertical shrink. And I'm going to say this right now because I'm anxious to get back to my desk and take a look at some of these. I'm not trying to mess you guys up right here, but this might be wrong. It might be wrong. We're not doing it wrong, but it might be wrong because forget all this complicated stuff. Let's go back to the dough. If you shrink something vertically, what else happens? It stretches it horizontally, so which is right? They both are. Is the computer going to take both of them? No, it takes one or the other. So what's the right answer? I don't know. We're going to find out here in a few minutes, okay? So in a few minutes, you're going to start clicking on these, and you're going to say, everything's cool, or somebody's going to say, that's wrong, okay? So it's a vertical shrink. We'll say that. Hopefully that sticks with a vertical shrink, okay? And how do you go from 1/4 to 1/16? What do you times 1/4 by to make 1/16? 1/4. Vertical shrink by a factor of 1/4. And what else? It was translated as moved 1 unit, what? 1 unit to the right. And 3 units, we already got it written up here, up. Okay. I wish they didn't throw, I'm going to tell you right now, on your next test, I'm going to give you questions like this up until, just the first part. I'm going to ask you questions like this. I'm not going to ask you that right there. I think it's taking a difficult problem, making it really difficult. So, let's do them for right now, but you don't need to sweat them on your next test. Okay, last 145. Okay, so we have what? X is negative 3 times what? Y plus 4 plus 2. Y plus 4 plus 2. Okay, so our vertex, in this case, what is it? What?
Negative, or 2 negative.
2, negative 4, okay? Think of it this way. We said we switched everything. So let's make it easy. We've been saying up until a couple of days ago, opposite same, vertex is opposite same. When you switch them, vertex isn't opposite same, it's same opposite. Just switch them. Just switch what you're saying. Okay? Instead of saying opposite same opposite, going backwards. Okay, so let's graph this thing. 2, negative 4, so go right 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4, put a dot. How's this parabola opening? Up, down, left, or right? Left. X is negative 3. So it's going to open to the left. Okay. Okay. We got to find out what P is. A is 1 over 4P. And we know what A is. A is negative 3. Now this one's a little harder to do. Okay? If it was something like this, if A was 1/20th, what would P have to be? 5, because 4 times 5 is 20. You can do that because the tops are the same, therefore the bottoms are the same. Are the tops the same here?
No.
No, make it 3 over 1, okay? I've never said this next phrase. Hopefully you learned it, I'm sure you learned it in middle school. Cross, multiply, and divide. Does that sound familiar at all?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to cross multiply. This times this, negative 3 times 4p. And then divide by, this times this, and then divide by, well, this time, when you do cross multiply and divide, this times this has to equal that times that. Okay, that's another way of saying cross multiply and divide. Diagonal corners equal diagonal corners when you times them. Okay? So negative 12p equals 1. Divide by negative 12, p is negative 1/12. Okay?
How do you know what A is? Like what to put in?
It's the A is always the number in front here.
Oh.
Okay. Now I said p was negative 1/12. All we care about is 1/12. We care about the value. Okay. The negative is just a direction. Ooh, these are not nice numbers. Okay. Ooh. Oh, we'll finish it out. I'm going to cut you some slack on this. I'm just going to delete this one, okay? Because, I mean, if we're at, and these are tough enough as it is. I mean, if you're at 2, as long as somebody can answer this. I'm not asking for an answer. I'm just asking, how would you come up with an answer? We're at the value 2, negative 4. To get the focus, I just put it over there somewhere. How would you get the focus? What would I have to do? P was 1/12, so what would you do? Move what?
Move 1/12 up, or
From, right.
to the right.
And will that impact the 2 or the negative 4 if you went to the left 1/12?
It would impact
The 2, okay? You would subtract 1/12. How would you get the directrix?
Go right.
Right 1/12. So this isn't any different, just the numbers are nasty, okay? So I'm going to cross that one off. Don't even worry about that one, okay? All right, questions on these? Okay, you got the rest of the hour to work on these. I want to check and make sure that these are the right answers so that they don't mark you wrong on these.